All right, let's dive in. There's a new kind of conflict bubbling up in the world of artificial intelligence. We're talking a high-stakes story of corporate espionage, national security, and intellectual property. And it all revolves around this powerful technique called distillation. It really makes you wonder.
What does happen? I mean, this question is right at the heart of it all. We're not talking about a simple hack or a data breach here. We're talking about one AI learning, or as some would call it, siphoning, the actual intelligence of another. So how is that even possible? Well, to get it, we need to pop the hood and look at the process itself. At the center of this whole firestorm is a technique called model distillation. And, it sounds super complex, but it's actually built on a surprisingly simple idea, a teacher and a student.
Okay, picture this. You've got a massive, incredibly powerful AI. That's the teacher. It's been trained on just an insane amount of data. It's brilliant, for sure, but it's also gigantic and really expensive to run. Then you have the student, which is a much smaller, nimbler model. Through distillation, that big teacher model basically transfers its knowledge, all its learned patterns and shortcuts, over to the student. The whole point is to create a smaller, way more efficient model that performs almost as well as its giant teacher.
Now, this technology has like two very different sides to it. On the one hand, distillation is a totally legit and widely used technique. AI labs do it all the time to make cheaper, faster versions of their own models for their customers. But then there's the other side, the darker, illicit use, copying a competitor's secret sauce, their most advanced features, without putting in all the years of research and billions of dollars in investment. And that is where this story really kicks off.
So this brings us to the accusation itself. Back in February 2026, the US-based AI company Anthropic dropped an absolute bombshell. They claimed they weren't just seeing a few isolated incidents, but a massive, coordinated campaign aimed right at their flagship AI, Claude.
And listen, Anthropic did not mince words. They came out and publicly named 3 major Chinese AI labs, DeepSeek, Moonshot AI, and MiniMax, as the ones behind it. This wasn't some quiet technical paper. This was a loud public accusation of what they called industrial-scale intellectual property theft. And the scale they're talking about, it's pretty staggering.
Anthropic says the whole thing started with a sophisticated network of over 24,000 fraudulent accounts. Apparently, these were set up specifically to get around regional access blocks, which is a huge no-no in their terms of service. But that was just the beginning.
Because then, those accounts were allegedly used to generate over 16 million conversations with the Claude AI. Think about that. Every single one of those exchanges was a query designed to poke and prod the model, to extract its knowledge and to capture what makes it special. So what were they really after?
Well, according to Anthropic, these attacks were surgical. They weren't just asking random stuff, they were targeting Claude's most valuable, most advanced features. We're talking agentic reasoning, that's the ability to handle complex, multi-step tasks, tool use, the skill to interact with other software, and coding, an area where Claude is seen as a leader. These really are the crown jewels of a frontier AI model.
Now, you might be thinking this is just one company getting mad at another, right? A corporate squabble, but it's way, way bigger than that. Anthropic and others are arguing that this kind of activity is a major threat, not just to AI safety, but to national security.
Okay, so here's where it gets really serious. When these huge models are built in the US, they come with complex safety guardrails built in. These are designed to stop the AI from being used for really dangerous stuff, like helping create bioweapons or launching cyber attacks. The big fear is that a student model, copied through distillation, won't have any of those safeguards. You could get all the power and capability with none of the original protections.
This quote from security expert Dmitry Alperovich really captures the feeling in Washington. For some people, Anthropic's accusation wasn't a huge surprise. It was more like a confirmation of a suspicion they've had for a while. That some of the incredible progress we're seeing from certain foreign AI labs isn't just coming from pure innovation, but from, well, imitation. And this all plugs right into the bigger tech competition between the US and China. See, the US government has put strict controls on exporting the advanced AI chips you need to train these top-tier models. But what Anthropic is arguing is that illicit distillation basically creates a loophole. It lets foreign labs catch up by just copying capabilities, which kind of reinforces the whole reason those chip controls were put in place.
But here's the twist. The moment Anthropic went public with all this, a completely different side of the story exploded online from the AI community. The main accusation? Hypocrisy. This headline from the Register just nails the backlash. The argument goes something like this.
How can Anthropic, a company that built its powerful models by training them on massive amounts of data scraped from the open internet, now complain when other people use its output to train their models?
And look, this isn't just people talking. There are actual lawsuits. Anthropic, just like pretty much every other major AI lab, is facing a whole wave of them, from creators, artists, and big companies. They're all being sued for allegedly using copyrighted material to train their models without asking for permission or paying for it. So you can see why critics are asking, where exactly is the line between training and theft?
So this is really what it all boils down to. On one side, you have the argument that this is clear-cut, industrial-scale IP theft, targeting unique, engineered capabilities. On the other side, you have the hypocrisy charge. A company whose whole business is built on, as one outlet put it, remixing content created by others, is now complaining about being copied themselves? The answer is definitely not simple, and it cuts right to the heart of what's fair game in this new age of AI.
So, no matter which side you land on in this debate, one thing is clear. This whole incident signals a real escalation in the global AI race. The battlefield is changing. It's not just about who can build the biggest models anymore. It's also about actively attacking and defending them in brand new ways.
And make no mistake, this is not just an Anthropic problem. OpenAI has also told the US government that they're seeing these attacks evolve. Attackers are getting smarter, moving beyond simple tricks to using these highly sophisticated, multi-stage operations that mix a bunch of different techniques to get the data they're after. It's become a constant cat-and-mouse game.
So how in the world do you prove that one model was copied from another? Well, researchers are actually developing new forensic tools to do exactly that. The whole process is kind of like digital fingerprinting for AI. They can find the unique stylistic signatures of a teacher model and then train another AI, an auditor, to hunt for those signatures in a suspected copy. It's essentially AI policing AI.
What this whole mess really shows us is that we're in the Wild West of AI right now. The technology is just moving so much faster than our laws or our ethics. You've got these huge accusations of theft flying right alongside counter-accusations of hypocrisy, with massive national security risks hanging over it all. And it all leads back to one crucial question. In this high-stakes race for AI dominance, who gets to write the rules? The answer to that is going to define the future of this technology for all of us. Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.